Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solution Show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED-D2. And as you already know, I have the PH.
I have the M.
We both have D's. That makes us Doc Squared. The title of the day's show is, and the answer is,
There it is. The answer is about to be given. But first, the Hip Hope Trio Plus. We're going through some
rearranging,
yes, reevaluation, and a whole bunch of other things.
Yes. Imagine how we are when we are together.
Whoa.
This was New Year's Eve at an event for Pu Ying, Chinese New Year.
Yes, indeed. It was a Chinese New Year. We wore the Chinese New Year colors, red. And you see our engineer over there with the reddish cap on.
Yes, Mick Tate.
Yes. They call him Mick Beats. Boy, it's famous. We got together and we started performing, and the first song we did, it was called This Is the World We Live In. Now, the song was created by Shelly Kay, who is third from the left right there with the shaker in her hand. Shelly Kay wrote the song up. I added a couple of verses to it. All of us were involved, and all of us were featured. KK probably not as much as the rest of us. KK is the first one in red, you see. She's our music director. But the song describes a life that all of us were encouraged by this culture to live. But it was not necessarily involving your own understanding or you specifically at all. The song states that the way that we are being told to live is somewhat restrictive of our own abilities and characteristics. And the song says we can go beyond that. We can live to a higher level of experience and understanding. And we call that becoming meta. Now, becoming meta means that you understand and then learn that you are composed of a spirit that controls your mind and body. And with the tools that the trivalent understanding noetics gives you, you're able to control those on such a level that you are as different from a regular human being as a regular human being is from a caveman, for exactly the same reasons. A regular human being has much more understanding of his being in the world that he lives in. A meta has that much more understanding than a regular person. As such, they don't age as fast. Hold on. Keep the camera just like that. Okay, my mic's. All right. Do I look 74?
We're going to let you all respond to that throughout the show
Uh-huh.
and give your opinion. We want to give a shout out to Helen,
Yes,
who
we do.
joined us about 5 minutes ago and has followed. She is our first viewer. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Being meta makes you better. And that is what the song, This is the World We Live In, is actually all about. Making you understand that you can live a higher level of existence by becoming meta. Why? Why can you live a higher state of existence by being meta? Well, that question we're going to take two different approaches to. We're going to go through a political answer, believe it or not, and a scientific approach to the question. We're in the midst of one of the most important political um, challenges, let's say, that this country has ever endured. Republican versus Democrat is not just name versus name. No, 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 no. These are ideals and ideas that are being used to head a direction. Okay? One wants to go back, the other wants to go forward. Now, MAGA means Make America Great Again, indicating that there was some point in the past in which America was great, that they are no longer great, and that they must go back to the past to be great again. That's just crazy. An effort is underway to select a new leader for our nation and the world. One choice is about the past, MAGA. The other is about the future. The leader that is about to return, the leader that's about returning to a prior point in our nation's growth seems to always have a problem. He seems to always have a complaint or dissatisfaction with some aspect of our present state. There you go. There's the two. I was just thinking about them. Boy, y'all are right tapped into my spirit. Uh-huh. His complaints and dissatisfaction with our present state of being leads him to swear, I alone can fix it. Now that statement, I alone can fix it, was uttered by Mussolini, Hitler, what's the guy in Russia? I cannot think of the, Stalin, Joe Stalin. Okay. And just about every despot, authoritarian, and one-man leader that's ever existed, that they always say it's a problem, it's a trouble, it's bad things happening, and I alone can fix it. I alone have the answer. I alone. That's never, and I repeat, never been the case. No one human being has answers to anything. All the tests I've taken throughout my life since I was, 5, have shown I can do a lot. I'm really, 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 really smart. I don't know everything, and I can't do everything. And I understand that. Anybody who doesn't is first lying to themselves and then lying to you. bless you. Oh, that was a goodie there.
Greetings, dear David and precious family. You are to us. You are a part of us. And we like for you to say happy birthday to your mother. I
Yes,
did see that
please.
notice that you had
Yes,
sent
happy
that it was your
birthday
mother's
to your mom.
birthday, I think Sunday. But yes,
And
please.
Helen Roughton Drake has followed us 10 minutes ago. You
I already
go,
called
Helen.
her out. I called her out a few minutes ago.
Oh, you
She was the
did?
first person I called out. I
Okay.
didn't say her whole name,
All
Helen.
right.
Just the
Okay.
first one.
Just Helen. Okay. That's the one we double
Thank
called
you again,
out.
Helen.
Okay. Again, he alone can fix it. This is the same statement made by earlier people who launched authoritarian rules that limited, restricted, punished, and even killed those who did not follow the request slash orders of their leader. On the other hand, the other prospective leader talks about joy,
Imagine her.
hope, and freedom.
Yes.
Now, I wrote a book a long time ago. It's called The Blessings of Slavery. That book starts off with the premise if you believe in a higher power, if you ask that higher power for an ability or a gift, say courage, would your higher power simply just give you that? Or would your higher power put you in a position to use, develop, strengthen, or earn that ability? 99.999% of everybody asked says the latter. Their higher power would put them in a position to develop, improve, strengthen whatever abilities or characteristics they wanted slash needed. That's what happened to our ancestors during slavery. The first human beings made by God, according to just about any source of reference. Go to anthropology, go to biology, go to genetics, go to the Bible, go wherever you want to. The first people that God created were Alkebulanese. And the first people that God created had their humanity taken away by the Roman Catholic Church. Our ancestors then developed abilities having to do with liberty, justice, and
Yes.
freedom
Yes. Imagine that.
that the whole world took up. When I left this country at 15, I was shocked to find out that very fact. I was shocked to find out that all the rest of this planet outside of the United States understands that the first human beings were Alkebulanese, and they teach that. They understand that science, biology, architecture, astronomy, astrology, you name the subject, all were created by Alkebulanese. Europeans created zero. That slavery blessing made us really, really lean into concepts like liberty and freedom.
Imagine that.
And our other contender for the title of president, it is into freedom big time. And she talks, Kamala Harris, talks about not just letting us go and putting freedom to work. She says we don't just need to be free from things. We also need to be free to do some enabling, uplifting things that the government needs to support. Uh, Kamala talks about freedom not just in governing, but in being American citizens. That privilege is given to only some people, and those who are blessed with that gift have a responsibility to use the freedoms that blessing confers to address the challenges and difficulties all life faces in this reality. Yes, that particular leader, Kamala Harris, was well aware that freedom from government and legal restrictions are just one of the types of freedoms and allowances given to and expected by American citizens. Freedom from those restrictions are essential, but freedoms to do certain activities and receive certain understandings are just as necessary, maybe even more so. So freedom from limitations and disability conferred by ignorant and sometimes stupid decisions made by governments. That is the world we live in right now. You are taught to work. You are not educated. Educated means being taught you, learning you. That's being educated. What we're in is a training system. And that's what George W. set up as No Child Left Behind. Mm-hmm. It's a system that trains you to go to work for somebody.
Yes.
That's the system we have. Mm-hmm. That's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. It's not about you. It's not about your spirit. It's not about imagination. It's not about hope. It's not about anything except you go and you be trained how to read, write, and do figures so you can go to work at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in.
Yes.
Listen to this, y'all.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. Life has a purpose before we even came to existence. Everybody had a mission that we said we had to do. Beg the Most High to come back so that we can serve and fulfill what we said we here to do. But no, life isn't easy like that. We came into this world with a bunch of challenges, but luckily enough the Most High got us blessed, giving us a grace that we naturally possess. So why do we sit around acting like we don't? Got so many gifts that we naturally own. We get here for greater things, we can feel it in the soul. Gotta go deep, gotta search the unknown. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. Taught to obey, given past to follow, not based on you. It's all kind of hollow. Your own understanding is best for your being. It's all about knowing. It's all about seeing that you. God sees the best. You believe it's all in your hands. Don't be deceived.
Well, I got a few questions, cause I really get guessing. What would you do if you really knew you? We're on a mission.
Teaching you to listen.
Make images of what you hear.
Listening to spirit.
Not mind.
It hears it, forgot what I feel.
Not near.
To the power of you release.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to
We love that song too, David. Thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely. Okay, this is the world we live in,
Yes, it is.
and we need to take the freedoms of this world seriously.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the other view from freedom. Same concept from a different viewpoint. Science states that time is the fabric of this reality.
Imagine that.
Absolutely. The fabric of this reality is time. That means that past, present, and future are the three columns on which this reality sits. For your information, when you die and leave here and go to the place at the Akan called Awuo, there is no time there. The only time is now. And now always exists there. There is no past, there is no future, just now. Believe it or not, there are realities exactly like that. And the one that we go to when we leave here, yeah, it's like that. As such, time, and more specifically, how much time you have and how much time you use, gives extremely different results in any circumstance or situation. Say, for instance, a cake baked 1 day ago is totally different than a cake baked 1 year ago. Difference in time. Or to use the opposite measure, you would expect a different response in almost any situation from a 3-year-old child and a 30-year-old adult. Why?
Imagine that.
Why would you expect different results? Because the older person has more time to grow, understand, learn, experience, and consider. It is the same with pink people. These are Europeans. They're not white, they're pink. Who have been in existence almost 1/6 of the time the rest of humanity has. They have been here 35 to 50,000 years ago, and Alkebulanese ancestors are 100 to 200, some even say 300 years ago. As such,
300 years ago, you mean
300,000, I'm sorry.
All right.
Let me go through that again. Europeans, pink people, 35 to 50,000. Alkebulanese, the original human beings, 100 to 200,000, and some even place it as high as 300,000 or more.
Ashe.
Now, as such, comparing them to the first human beings, comparing pink people to the first human beings is like comparing a 15-year-old to an 80 or 90-year-old. Not in physical or mechanical ability, but in understanding, learning, and leadership. Who would you think would be the better leader? The 15-year-old or the 90-year-old? Well, that's choosing between following pink people, Europeans, who are about 15, as opposed to Alkebulanese, who have been here 6 times longer than they have. 6 times 15 years, about 90 years old. That's the difference that pink people don't want you to understand. They don't want you to even pose that question. Can't do it. The leader of our nation should have the direction plotted out for our future, not our past.
Ashe.
You're going to try to go forward by returning backward? Now, why doesn't that make any sense at all? And why am I not surprised that Lion 44.5, I never say the man's name, He's not the 45th president of the United States. He himself realized that he's not a whole person. Line 44.5 knows for himself. Oh my goodness. These are things that he doesn't deal with at all. Now, let's take his juvenile, immature understanding of reality. He has very little understanding of this reality. He has a much better understanding of the reality he has made inside himself. And to a degree, this is an extension of the same fantasies that Europeans have been living through for about 2,000 years. About 2,000 years ago, they were living throughout Europe in animal skins. They still had occasion to eat each other. They were still cannibalistic. They had no written language, no knowledge whatsoever of science, history, anything like that, until they met up with the Romans, who conquered them all, used them as hired guns, as it were, but though there were swords and arrows, and taught them what the Romans had learned from the Greeks, where, of course, the Greeks learned it from Alkebulanese. Again, when I got to be a doctor, I had to take a Hippocratic oath. That Hippocratic oath did not say at all what Socrates and Hippocrates said about themselves. We are proud sons of the great Imhotep, an Alkebulanese multicultural, multi-talented genius. That's not what Europeans were taught. And that's not what line 44.5 feels, believes, and says. But unfortunately, the lies and fantasy people have been living through for more than 1,500 years, things that Europeans have been trained to believe. We're first. We're the best. We're the smartest. We're the strongest. We're the bravest. Excuse me. We're the strongest. We're the bravest. And this is from the guy who called Medal of Honor winners chumps and fools. This is the guy who wondered why the heroes in Europe didn't have something coming out of what they were doing. He asked a General Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, what was in it for them? He knew nothing about patriotism. He knew nothing about true freedom. Absolutely not. And these fantasies are still in effect. They're still in effect until time allows that to be put away. Like bloodletting and
Imagine that. Yes.
yeah, the most intelligent of pink people were supposed to be the physicians. And yeah, bloodletting was a popular method of restoring, listen to that, restoring a person's health and humors, because the Europeans, through the Greeks, were told that human beings operate by the use of 4 different humors. And these 4 humors were all different colors: red humor, yellow humor, green humor, and blue, if I'm not mistaken. Um, blood was the red humor, and many, many, many different types of situations and diseases. And the physician, the smartest people in Europe, believed that the only way to help this person get better was to make them bleed, cut a vein, let them bleed, and that would bring them back into balance. And these are the people that want to say they're the best, they're the smartest. No. No, not when pharmacology, surgery, including heart and brain surgery, were all developed in Alkebulan. OBGYN, that's go to India. They use forceps and paddles and all the same stuff we use right now here today, all over this planet. And they used them about, 2, 3, 4,000 years ago. That bloodletting was a good and needed thing? No, not according to Professor Tim Snyder. Professor Tim Snyder of Yale wrote several books. He wrote one about 6 years ago called On Tyranny.
Imagine that.
Before his newest
Yes.
work on freedom. Oh, God. And read what it says there. Freedom is not a negative effect, like the lack of laws or restrictions that say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, It is instead a positive impact on your life and your living. Freedom is not just the absence of evil, but the presence of good.
We're so glad you joined us, Tai Tai. Greetings to you and your wonderful family there in Atlanta.
Yes, indeed. Thank
OG
you,
Shanks
Tata.
is just tuned in.
JJ, okay.
All right.
What up, y'all? Same
Walk 'em
things
like a
up there.
dog. That's
Yeah, that's what
OG
you're supposed to
Shankster.
do. Okay. Restrictions and barriers are challenges that prevent you from doing what you feel needs to be done. That's what Professor Snyder says. Freedom allows you to realize all the good things in the world, while restrictions and barriers are challenges that prevent you from doing what you feel needs to be done.
Greetings, Owen. We're so happy you joined us, and your alter ego is Mark Scott.
Mark!
Wow,
Owen, okay.
that's different.
Using it. All right, what's up, Mike? I told you we're going to give you a holler out. and I liked your buddy. He was kind of cool. Okay. Professor Snyder book further states, Americans are told that we were given freedom by our founding fathers, our national character, or our capitalistic economy. None of that is true. Let me go back over there. Given freedom by our founding fathers were Europeans under the same lies and misstatements that all Europeans were, again, instigated through the Roman Catholic Church. Unfortunately, our founding fathers did not know that we were the first human beings God made. No education was allowed outside of Roman Catholic Church education. And they told people, tortured people, and killed people who got into writings from Africa. That's in the country, the continent that they called, well, it was really Alkebulan, but they called it Africa because that's what the Romans taught them to say.
Named it after Scipio Africanus. Yes.
Right. The Roman general at the Second Punic War.
Yes.
Absolutely. So our founding fathers, no, they had no ability to make anyone free. But our nation's charter didn't either. It specifically said the only people who have a hand in the running of this nation are pink men who own land.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a pink woman, you weren't gonna vote for at least another 400 years. And if you did not own land, and therefore were of the landowner gentry, you couldn't vote at all, period.
Right.
No, that was our founding fathers. Again, freedom cannot be given. It is not an inheritance. Professor Snyder further states, we call America a free country, but no country is free. Only people can be free.
Imagine that.
If we believe something else makes us free, we never learn what we must do.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you believe freedom is given, it's gone. Again, Professor Snyder on the screen. The whole idea we have that if the government leaves us alone, we're free. No. Unfortunately, that goes directly back to slavery. That's a plantation idea because only the government can free the slaves. It is not just an intellectual error, it's a historical taint. You can't be free by yourself. You have to let other people in, and you have to acknowledge that other people are people like yourself.
Ashay.
So, pink people have never been free.
Right. Just for a moment, give a shout out to KK. Her alter ego is Darren Jones.
Darren Jones.
Hi there. Hey.
And Jeezy saying our Africa to change. Yeah, right. Can I hear the Book of Job? Okay. Yeah, no, you can't. This is my show, not yours. And Mark says, what's up, Doc?
And I have a special shout out for Oren when you come to the end
Okay.
of the show.
All right. Acknowledging that other people are people like yourself is a key to being free.
Madase OG for sharing. And again, you just reminded me. Thumbs up, that means like, make a comment. And most importantly, what, honey? Subscribe.
Subscribe.
We'll get the book of Job on there on another show.
We will, Jay-Z, we will. I love it. You know I do. What you must do to be eternally free is to understand and then learn what, who, where, and when you are, so that you can understand why you are here. That's what I have been trying to do most of my existence. O.G. Shanks has said, O.G. Shanks the tube. Let Lord bless him. Lord bless the boy. I'm blasting and sharing the show. You do it then, Mike. Love you. That's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I am a child, and I'm trying to understand how I work. And I think that that's what school is for. So I go to grade school, and I'm shocked they don't tell me anything about me. I say, well, maybe that's what high school is for. I go to high school. They mentioned how my body worked. They even said one or two things about my mind. My spirit was never mentioned, period. I left this country, heard some things in Southeast Asia about the spirit, but not any real personal instructions. Got back to this country, got degrees up one side and down the other in music, nursing, medicine, biology, psychology, metaphysics, spirituality, healthcare administration, you name it, I got degrees in it. Nobody explained to me how my spirit functioned. So I went and did it myself. I created something called the Trivalent Understanding Noetics Tune. and got nominated for the $10 million X Prize, and was invited to the United Nations and Center to Innovation Conference at UN headquarters in New York as a result. But we came up with a song about my struggles and my challenges, and it was about me trying to get that understanding, couldn't get it. Trying to get that understanding, couldn't get it. Trying to get, couldn't get it. So we came up with the song, and it's called Can't Get. Peep this, y'all.
When you're going through this thing called life, you're going to have a great number of opportunities, and you're going to have some challenges. In those opportunities and those challenges, you may not be able to get everything that you want, but you should always try to get what you need.
Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Now we're all here for the celebration, trying to find out my own creation, how to learn from my imagination, finding truth, my only liberation. Yeah. 'Cause you can't always get what you want. No, you can't.
Can't always get what you want.
No.
Can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you know you just might find you get what you need. So we find ourselves without the spirit, trying with mind and body just to feel it. We train, then work to make our money. Without purpose, we're feeling kind of funny, and not the ha-ha kind. 'Cause you can't always get what you want. No, you really can't. No, you can't always get. But if you try sometimes, you know you just might find you get what you need. So finally, I thought I'd try this today. Understanding, you know, it taught me the way I say no fooling. Now believe what you want, it's your decision. But I know the way without collision. 'Cause you can't always get what you want. No. Sometimes get it that way. You sometimes can't get it any other way that you can. And I try sometimes. Just like that. Get what you need. You get what you need. You get what you need.
Okay.
Yes.
The Jazzy Teller.
And
It's cute.
yes, that's Tai Tai.
Jazzy
Yes.
Tia.
Oh, that's Jazzy.
Oh, that's Jazzy Tia.
Oh, I
but
see the
thought
I
that was
now.
Tai Tai. Oh,
That is Tia.
it
That's
is Tai
Tai
Tai.
Tai.
Her tag is the Jazzy.
Man, we got the
Tia.
chats blowing. The chat is
Wow,
blowing
wow.
up
Yeah,
on
they
that
are.
song.
Wow.
And who did the animation? The
twins, the
twins.
artist and oh wow, I cannot think of the other's name. That is not good.
Because his father's at the same name.
Right. Oh. Matthew.
Matthew.
And the father's called Matt.
Matt
But
Kendalls.
yeah, the Kendall brothers. Yes.
Those who they do our illustration.
And dearly known as the Manji.
Manji. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They did an awesome job.
And Jenks said that's my.
You love that song,
That's my
Tai Tai.
favorite trio song.
Yes, it's a lovely, wonderful,
Jazzy Tia says, "I love
uplifting
this song."
An
Yes,
Evelyn
yes, she
song.
did.
It's
like
cute.
To show y'all.
Yeah, the characters are very
a
cute,
jet.
and the characters look like them. Yeah,
Okay, and Jazzy say, I'm singing it too. I'll be blessed.
right. It's catchy.
Yeah, and she, who's that say Doc be singing?
That's
her.
That's Tai Tai.
Jazzy Tia.
Yeah. Doc be singing. Yeah, he do it now and then. He do. He do. But let me get back and finish the show.
All right.
After I could get what I want.
Hey, Doc, before you get back,
Yes, sir.
everybody here, please share, like, subscribe.
Yes.
We're trying to get the algorithms up.
Yeah, especially with
Facebook,
subscription.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Right.
Instagram, all of that. And keep
Yes.
on sharing and liking.
Yes.
There you go.
All
And
right
if you
now.
got a question, go ahead and call in or
Please.
call in to the number that I'm flashing on the screen right now.
All right.
Or put it on the clipboard.
Yes.
Or you can go to, you can actually type a
Facebook,
question in the comments.
Yes.
Yes, you can do that too.
Yes,
Type a
indeed.
question in the comments.
More than one way to the top
I
of the
know.
pyramid. Yes.
Every time. Okay. Can I finish now, y'all?
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Dr. Snyder, we're back at him again. Tim Snyder, Yale University. Great author, but more importantly, he's one pink male who understands his pinkness. Dr. Snyder's most exciting statement to me was his convergence with the joy and happiness infectious in the campaign of Harris Walls. He connected to that and he said freedom always contains inner joy because when you get freedom, you have arrived at the place where you discover who you are.
I share.
Now, remember what you just got through seeing in animated video. And remember, right before it, I told you that the trivalent understanding teaches you what you are, a trivalent being, spirit, mind, and body, and teaches you how they function. Who you are, and this means whose you are, who you came from, who you came through, and the fact that you are a relative of the first human beings that ever appeared on this planet. Where you are, and I'm not talking about GPS or address. I'm talking about the history and the people of the place where you live, because that history and those people have affected and to some degree are still affecting where you live. And if you are unaware of them, then it's affecting you in ignorance. Last but not least, when you are. And as everybody knows, when you are always stays the same. When you are is now. But we're not just talking about the now time. We're talking about what you need to be doing now, what you need to be avoiding now, what you need to be watching out for now, what you need to be helping now. Once you understand and have learned, that means practice your understanding until it becomes part of you. That's called learning. Once you have learned what you are, who you are, where you are, and when you are, you will discover why you are. That is what purpose is all about. And I don't think most will understand that purpose until they understand their trivalency. Our job is to advance mankind to the next level of evolutionary development, and that is called becoming trivalent.
Ashe.
Okay.
I'd like for us to go back and look at the matter. You talked about meta is better,
Yeah,
and meta.
meta is better.
Yeah, imagine that if we have that.
Do we have a slide? Meta late than never. Meta is letter. It's better.
All right,
Make mine meta.
Madase.
Yes, these are all going to be
Micah
on shirts.
Madase.
We need these slides because we're going to make these slides into shirts. And we're going to be selling them. It's going to be our merch. If the Lord says the same and the ancestors agree. Okay, hard to take this feeling from the moods and images of our other direction of leadership. Hard to get freedom from Lion 44.5. He doesn't want anybody free. He wants you all under his thumb. And if you're not under his thumb, he's already told people what he's going to do. He's going to turn the Justice Department on you. He's going to try to get you arrested. He's going to turn the government against you.
He's going to jail anyone that didn't agree with him during the campaigning.
Oh, he said he wants to take Barack Obama and put him in jail. And Joey B. Yeah, but that's who he is. He is a scared 15-year-old inside of himself that is frightened to death of being found out for who and what he is. Okay. Hard to take the feeling that Professor Snyder gave us, that knowing who you are, from the words and images that line 44.5 is pointing out. Going back to where we've already moved on from. That's what he wants us to do. But it's very easy to add trivalent understanding noetics to the direction Kamala and I and Professor Snyder are heading. That is what our leadership should, would, and could be. Don't worry, y'all. It will. She gonna win. And she's going to win by such a large margin. Line 44.5 is going to swear it was a fraud. He was cheated. He has to. It doesn't matter what the results are. He's got to. Okay. And Jazzy said, I want some merch. All right. You can get it. The government, and she said the government is already against, sweetheart, the government being against us? Unfortunately, you
Nothing compared to
misunderstand.
Trump.
You misunderstand. The government is against women. The government is against immigrants. And this whole country is a country of immigrants. The government is against young people. The government is against anybody who's not a rich pink person. The government is against anybody who wants to take away their power. Us, the government ain't against us for no reason. The government is against us because we are taking over the government. It's the way it's supposed to be. Again, 1776, the motto of our country was E pluribus unum. From many, one. From many races, from many cultures, from many nations, from many everythings. One is going to be, and that one is going to be American. And that one American is going to be Alkebulanese. I showed you the charts and the graphs over the last 25, 30 years about growth of different races and the failure of pink people to have any positive growth at all. They have only negative growth. It's getting, every year there are less and less pink people. Why do you think the Republicans trying to stop people from voting? Because they understand this. And they understand that unless they stop people from voting, they will never win another election. Mm-mm. Not nationally. Locally, where they gerrymandered stuff so that only they vote for they, and instead of the voters choosing the politicians are choosing which voters they want to represent. All that is due to the fact that they are losing this country. We are taking it over, and Kamala is going to be their death knell. Okay, I'm through.
We have one more person to join us. We want to say hi to Nicole.
Nicole,
Hi, Nicole.
hey y'all.
And also, before we go, we want to give a shout out to Owen. He had sent a text saying that he received the high score on the civil service exam for a position he was looking for.
Wow.
Upward, onward, and upward.
You
All
go,
right.
my brother.
Yes.
Do you, boo?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty then. So,
Yes.
this show is over except for the comments and everything else that questions that y'all want to send in to us. We will answer them as best we can. But for now, we simply have to say,
I got a question.
I like it.
Nicole,
All right, take my piece down.
I like Nicole's Celebration. That's who it is. I like that name.
Okay.
Celebration.
Okay.
All right, you talked about e pluribus unum,
Right.
out of many one.
Right.
Because
From
you don't see that a
many.
lot right now. They kind of try to take that out now. They don't use that as much as they would. So
See
it
that,
seems
my
like,
brother.
is that right?
You've been listening.
Now look. Does that because they kind of know they messed up? When they put that out there, so they kind of snatch that back. They don't not really using that as their motto or anything like no more.
Now,
right?
let me explain the history of the motto of the United States of America. You have to remember that the people who first wrote this country's plan, they were fleeing from European domination. Sound familiar? They were fleeing from the domination of kings and emperors and princes and people like Line 44.5. And they wanted all of the different peoples, different populations. The English had come over, the Germans had come over, the Irish had come over, some French, a whole lot of Spanish. All of these different peoples that came over here, they wanted them to join them in making this new country for lots of different people. Now, again, they ignored the science, genetics, history, and everything else that mankind had. No. We're not going to do that. We're only going to go with European history, which only started 2,000 years ago and has almost nothing in it about science or anything that was beyond fifth grade understanding. They decided e pluribus unum was not just the best motto, they decided that it was probably the only motto that would allow all these different people from all over the world to work together to not just create but run this nation. Now, again, without any history, without any biology, without any genetics, without any of the things that would have told them what was going to happen, because they didn't have any of that, they weren't taught any of that, they could not understand that if you combine all the people on this planet together, what comes out looks like us. They didn't understand that. And it took them 250 years to understand that. 1952 was when they came to the realization that e pluribus unum means America is to be run by us, not them. They obviously weren't the unum, because you add anything to pink and it turns into the anything. You add Native American to pink, what comes out is Native American. You add Asian to pink, what comes out is Asian. You add Hispanic to pink, what comes out is Hispanic. You add Alkebulanese to pink, what comes out is Alkebulanese. It took them 250 years of living with that motto to come to the understanding of what that meant. And it took them 2 years. 1954 was where they changed the motto from e pluribus unum to in God we trust. Now, isn't that exactly why Europeans left Europe? Because there were not only political but religious restrictions that they did not want to follow, and they wanted to set up a country that had no religious restrictions or barriers. But yet they came up with a new motto, in God we trust.
Wow. In e pluribus unum, that's on like old, you'll find that on like old coins.
You find it on a dollar bill, it's still there.
Okay, it's on a dollar bill. Okay.
It's still there.
I just remember seeing that when I was younger. I don't see it too much.
Well, take a look at that dollar bill very closely. You will find Cheops' pyramid. You will find the Eye of Horus. You will find all these Alkebulanese symbols by these pink people who did not have any idea what they actually were and what they meant. Wow. Again, the most ignorant people on the planet. Europeans.
Wow. Thank you, Nicole Celebration. She says thank you. And
yes,
a lot of claps there. Subscribe for us. And if you like this channel, please share it and come back every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 8.
It's that time.
Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Yes, it is. Okay. Right now, though, we got to wish y'all
peace,
which stands for
proper education. Always corrects errors.
Peace, y'all.
All right.
For real.
Tired a little bit differently. The video. If you would like more. Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.